This it should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let him be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, not burdened with duties, and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud or demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise will later reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety. May all beings be at ease, whatever living beings they may be, whether they are weak or strong or meeting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born. May all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another. Even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, free from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness. One to sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding, by not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being free from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante. And now over to you.
Okay, so, I don't know. I think today, what can I talk about? I mean, that one thing that came to my mind since it's pretty also well, I find the monastery is getting busier and there's more monks. We just ordained, I think, one novices and 4 bhikkhus in the last few weeks. And the community of monks is basically 30 monastic in Bodhinyana Monastery. So I do find we are getting more and more busier. And sometimes when things are more busier, there's more work, there's more responsibility, there's more driving. And if there's more driving, then sometimes there's a bit more accident with the vehicle, and it means more work for me. And when the vehicle is down, then people will come up to me and complain about the vehicles that's not working properly. And sometimes I notice when you live in the big community, there's a lot of can be a little bit of tension sometimes because everyone here is different. Some people are quite independent. Some people have strong views. So one thing I find, living in a bigger community now, compared to like more than 10 years ago when I first arrived here. When I first arrived here, it was a smaller community. We only have 12 monks. So I remember that I used to do more work and help with the responsibility in the monastery. But now there's about 30 monks and quite a lot of lay people staying here, and a lot of retreats running at the retreat center. And myself, I notice I'm traveling a bit too. And when I come back to the monastery, I notice, wow, out in the world, you can be very busy, just traveling and teaching. But when you come back to the monastery, I notice, wow, it's also quite busy too. We have a lot of chit-chat, a lot of discussions, a lot of views, a lot of opinions, a lot of, we'll say a bit of manipulation too, even in a community like this. And sometimes, it can be a lot of misunderstanding, and also a bit of friction sometimes. And sometimes I feel like, wow, oh geez, this is getting a bit out of our hand. But I realized one thing that always came to my mind when there's a lot of thinking and when there's a lot of tension, then sometimes the best thing to do is go back to my kuti and just relax. So one thing I really value in the monastery is solitude. So when we have solitude, we find that we don't have to mix around with so many people. Then we have more time for ourselves. And when we have more time for ourselves, we find that things that we hold on to in our heart, things that irritate us, things that make us upset, or sometimes a bit angry, or sometimes even sad too. When things arise in our heart, then we learn not to hold on to it. Because sometimes all this is just noise, just external noise. When it's very noisy in the monastery, it's chatters, views and opinion, and complaining. And when things arise, then as a monastic, we are basically practitioner, and we do have a lot of new monastics that just joined the community, and also trainees. So problems do arise, but when things arise, as all monastic, there's a lot of time for self-practice and self-reflection. So when you're by yourself, when you just basically have a quiet mind, don't speak too much, then a lot of underlying things do arise in one's heart. So when they do arise, sometimes the best thing to do is just watch them. The more you watch them, the more the mind becomes calm and peaceful. The more you realize these are just cause and condition. So when they arise, then we have to learn not to follow them and not to feed it. Because when we feed our emotion, then it becomes stronger. Then our mind can be a bit of a storm. So when it's become very stormy, then when you sit down and meditate, the thoughts, the emotion, and the endless thinking do arise. Sometimes we have to learn to let go. So when we let go of our wandering thoughts, especially negative thoughts, then we find that it's not the problem. The problem is holding on to it. Because when we hold on to it, it's basically, it causes us no peace and no happiness. So it's funny, our thoughts can just change within a second. And all it takes is one person to say something unskillful or quite, rough speech, or speech that is very, very critical and coarse. Then you can see your mind change instantly. And when that arises, sometimes you realize that, wow, okay, it's time to watch what's happening and understand why things like that arise. And sometimes people do have a hard time, and people are going through a difficult time. So sometimes compassion is good to develop. So when you develop compassion in one's practice, then you realize people are having a hard time, and sometimes you have to give them a bit of space and give them a bit of slack. So when we give people space and slack, especially giving one's a bit of slack and peace too, to just staying more to yourself, more solitude. When we don't speak too much, when we don't want to voice our opinion to prove that we're right, that would say, it's funny because when I was working in the workplace, there's a lot of argument, and I realized a lot of argument is trying to push one's opinion and point through. And small arguments can cause a lot of turmoil for the whole day. So I realized sometimes it's good just to be quiet. So when you're quiet, and when things arise, then we don't carry it too much. Because when we do have a retreat at the retreat center, I remember one time there's about 60 people that joined the retreat, and we requested everyone to keep noble silent. So so noble silence was kept for the whole 3 days during the weekend. But one of the retreat organizers said that one person left the retreat the next day because they find that it was way too quiet. Not able to speak sometimes it's too much for that person to deal with. Because a lot of our speech and our chatter is the reason why I think we have to talk so much is because we want to exist. The more we talk, the more that we are there. Yep. So the sense of self and ego for most people can be very strong. So to be quiet is almost to disappear and to surrender. Yep. So for some people, I realize it's very difficult for them just to be quiet and just have a mind that's peaceful, calm, and mindful. Yep. But I did realize when I was younger, as a layperson, I used to talk so much. And sometimes we try and talk over one another. And I see people do that, try and talk over one another. And after a few minutes, it's like both of them having a shouting match. So sometimes I just go, shh, not too loud. Just lower your voice. Yeah, so those views and opinions, it can be a habit. Yep. So when we talk too much and the louder we talk, then no one is listening. We just listen to our own voice and our own opinion. So that's why it's great to be alone, to be a hermit. So being a monastic, we spend maybe 4 hours together, 2 hours work, sometimes 3 hours work, 1 hour having our lunch and breakfast, our bindapat for the day. Then we spend the rest of the day by ourselves. It's so nice when I notice the community can be so busy and so much discussion and sometimes a lot of conflict. And when you take your meal, go back to your kuti and just eat quietly. Just watch the birds, watch the kangaroo waiting outside for the scrap. And just watch the cloud. And I realized, wow, it's so peaceful not to speak. When you don't speak so much, then you don't have to think so much. And when you don't think so much, then you tend to enjoy your meal more. And you just become more mindful. Just eat quietly, wash your bowl, and have a cup of tea or coffee, and just enjoy the moment. I think we all need time off even from busyness of worldly responsibility. Because you look at the world these days, people are so busy, working, running around the place, and sometimes they get caught up with other news, things that are so far away that we don't have any that does not affect us. But these days I notice people will bring out their mobile phone, open up, and just look at all the bad news. Because when I went down to Margaret River, and people discuss about the conflict overseas and all the things that's happening, wars, politics, bad news. And I told the people in Margaret River, we live so far away. We live in a country that's so peaceful, and there's so much harmony. And people are very happy there. People leave their doors unlocked, and they feel very safe, especially in Margaret River. When I went down there, people was just very peaceful and happy. They did have the surf competition. That was quite noisy. But you have a sense of safety down in Margaret River. So I was telling the people on the meditation class, look, we do live in a very lucky country. We live in a beautiful community. We're surrounded by nice forests, beautiful beaches, and there's no like really, really poor people. Everyone is basically middle class. And Western Australia is one of the richest states in Australia. So people are living in Margaret River. We are living in a lucky country. We call it a lucky country in Australia. Yep. And sometimes why break our peace by picking out the phone and just looking at all the bad news? Because the problem of the world is endless. As long as there's greed, hatred and delusion, people will always fight for what they can get. And also basically, fight for what they don't like. Yep. So this problem in the world is endless. Yep. So I told the people in Margaret River, just enjoy the moment, enjoy the place, enjoy the environment, and enjoy one another's company. So we do live in a very beautiful place in Margaret River. So don't spoil the time by picking out the phone and looking at bad news. Because things, they're so far away. We're not affected by it. Yep. So same with things that happen in the monastery. It can be very busy, and when you have a bigger community, you think I can too get affected by what's happening in the monastery. But I always remember, I go back to my kuti and just spend the rest of the day quietly in my kuti. Enjoy the sunset, enjoy the birds, listen to the kangaroos and the birds, and watch the plants grow. It's been quite warm in Perth now, so it's been raining the last few days. So I'm just watching the grass grow, and everything slowly become green again, because it's been quite a hot and dry summer in Perth at the moment. So the forest is actually a very beautiful place to spend time. So if we value solitude, especially at home, by yourself, do some gardening at home, or just sit quietly at home. And best not to turn on TV and spoil our peace by looking at the news too much. Because the way of the world is endless. It will never end. As long as there's human beings that don't develop spiritual practice, there's always be conflict. So that's what came to my mind. I think being a monastic, we are quite lucky because the monastery, we are quite protected from the world outside. When things happen in the world out there, we're not too affected. But I think sometimes people, even people in the monastery and monastic, they get bored. Then they start looking at news. Then they come and ask me what's happening with the world and what do I reckon. And sometimes I say that, I don't know, what can I do? I'm just a simple forest monk living in the monastery, practicing, doing some meditation, and just living simply. I mean, what's happening out there, I have no control over it. The only thing I have a control over is my own mind, and my peace of mind, and my own thoughts. So I don't want to spoil my day by just looking at bad news all the time. Because bad news is interesting to know, and you tend to look, wow, okay, lucky I'm not a layperson. Because I'm a layperson, I have to work hard. And sometimes get into debate with other people about what's happening in the world. Even I heard we have some people from overseas, and they get into like big argument with the family members just over things at home, different views and opinion. So for us, we don't really have to get too involved. I mean, what other people think and their views and opinion is their own personal thoughts and preference. It's like complaining about what color you like in a car. Do you like a blue car? Do you like a purple car or green car? It's like when we get the upgrade in the kitchen, because our kitchen is been running for like something like 40 years. So the kitchen has been upgraded in the monastery, and they went down to look at the tiles, to get new tiles for the kitchen. So they did ask me what I reckon. I say, you decide, you decide what you want to do, and just go for it. I mean, the kitchen is the kitchen, and whoever is involved in the kitchen renovation, let them decide, because they do a good job. Because I don't have to get involved. Even with other monastic, they say should be done this way, should be done that way, should be no. You cannot have tiles on the walls. It's not good. It looks terrible. Who knows? I mean, sometimes you have tiles on the wall. It's just easy to clean. I mean, some places when we have tiles on the wall, I find that it's a lot more easy to clean. If we don't have tiles on the wall, it looks better. It looks more retro, more old school. I don't know. For me, I'm happy no matter what. If we have tiles in the wall or not have it. So sometimes these views and opinion, people can just like destroy their peace just over things like having tiles in the wall for the kitchen and the dining hall in the monastery. So as for monastic and practitioner, what we value is peace of mind and happiness. So when we have peace of mind and happiness, then we can see things more clearly. And we can see things that happen in the world, things that happen in the monastery. We don't get too caught up with it. Because when we value peace and happiness, we can sleep well. We become more happier. Then we become more alive. Because with things like fault finding, having a fault finding mind, we can spend the whole day just thinking about something. So we can go back and argue with the person. Sometimes when there's a lot of negative thoughts, we can feel alive. It can keep us awake for the whole night, just brewing over it. But when we have silent mind and peace, then we actually enjoy the moment. We enjoy the food. We enjoy walking. We enjoy everything in it. The whole world just look more peaceful and more happier when the mind is calm and peaceful and silent. Because the Buddha say one of the 7 path of enlightenment is developing a wholesome mind. So you don't become enlightened for having a negative thoughts happening in negative mind. So one of the 7 factors of enlightenment is to have a positive mind or to have a pure mind. So when your mind is pure, you become more calm, more peaceful, and more happier. Then samadhi it will happen more naturally and more peaceful. Okay, so I think we can start the meditation.
That would be wonderful.
But sometimes if I chat too much, then I'm just having my own views and opinion, and some people might not agree on that. So it's good to develop silence, peace of mind. So that way we can be peace peaceful, happy, and free. Okay, so we'll sit quietly for half an hour. Yep. So for those that haven't done meditation before, so meditation is basically learning to relax the body. Because so I always start off with body scanning first. Because we do live a very busy lifestyle. We work a lot. We're very busy all the time. And if we sit down and meditate, and if the body is not relaxed, because the body is the foundation of calming the mind. If our body is not relaxed, then you find that a lot of the, we say the anxiety, the tension, or the stiffness to slowly accumulate in the mind. So the more we relax the body, the more we make peace with the body, the more we can let this body slowly fade away and disappear. Once the body you get that tranquil, peaceful body, or the calmness of the body, then when you come to the breath, then the mind can become more calm and more peaceful. Yep. So sometimes body reflection is quite important. So we should learn to just relax this body as much as possible. Because when I was start doing meditation, when I was a layperson, I used to do a lot of body reflection. Then after that, the mind become more calm and peaceful. But as the mind become more calm and peaceful, then I went to the breath quite easily. Then I realized, how come my breath is not working? It's not becoming more calm and peaceful. Then I realized, I've forgotten to relax the body. So these days, sometimes I have to sit quietly for a few minutes and make sure my body is calm and relaxed, peaceful. Then we move on to the breath. Then you find that meditation become more calm and more peaceful. Okay. So please just sit quietly and gently close your eye. With your eye closed, just take a couple of deep breaths. Just breathe in and just breathe out. So normally we take a couple of deep breaths just to relax ourselves. And ground our awareness within our body. And now we ground it within the body. And we always start off just being aware of our whole body first. And just moving our body around. And just relaxing our body. And we further relax our body by just noticing for our head first. So notice our head. So we can move our head gently. Make it comfortable. We notice our forehead. Make sure it's not stiff. And then relax our forehead. Because sometimes if we concentrate a lot at work or on the computer or driving, we notice just in our upper eye, it can be quite stiff. So we're just going to relax our forehead and our eyebrow. And then we can relax our eyes. And now, we gently notice our face. Relax our face. And we relax our nose. And we notice our jaw. Make sure it's not too tight. And relax our jaw. Then we can just swallow any saliva in our throat or clear it. Then we relax our throat. And now we gently bring awareness to our neck. Make sure our neck is nice and straight, not rigid. And we just relax our neck, our spine from our head down to where it connects to our body. Make sure our throat is nice and clear. And relax our throat. And if you need to, you can just cough, clear it. And now we gently move, bring our awareness to our upper body. Connect us to our arm socket. Make sure it's not stiff up there. Nice and relaxed and loose. Then we slowly move our awareness from our neck to our arm socket. Our right hand first. Make sure our right hand or right arm is relaxed, loosen. Then we relax our right arm. Then we do the same. We gently bring awareness from our neck down to our left arm socket, then to our left hand or left arm, all the way. Just relax. Relax our left arm. And now, finally, we bring awareness to both our hands. And we need to, you can just gently move it around and just relax. Both our hands, our palms, and our fingers. And now, we gently bring awareness to our chest. And we just notice we are breathing calmly and peacefully. Using our breath, we relax our chest. And now, we gently bring awareness to our back. Notice any stiffness or tightness in our back. And if you need to, you can just gently move it around and just loosen our lower back from the top of our neck down to our spine where our chest is. Then slowly move all the way down to our tummy where the spine is, and all the way down to where we're sitting on the chair, our lower back. And you can gently just move it around and just loosen our back and loosen our spine. And now, we bring awareness to our tummy. Make sure it's nice and comfortable. Our tummy is not bloated, not too tight around our waist. Our clothes is not too tight. And we just relax. Relax our tummy. And now, we bring awareness down to our hip. Just notice our hip. If there's any tightness, stiffness, or pain, you can just gently move it around and just loosen our hip and also our lower back. And just relax. And now we gently bring awareness to our right leg, from our hip slowly down to our knee and all the way down to our ankle. So with our right leg first, just notice any part that's still a bit stiff or painful, and we relax and make peace with any tightness, stiffness or pain. Relax our right leg. And now we bring our mindfulness or awareness to our left leg. Same thing, from our hip down gently to our knees and all the way down to our ankle. And we just relax and loosen our left leg. And if you need to, just gently move it around and relax our leg. And finally, we bring our awareness to both our feet, from our ankle down to our heel, to our sole of our feet, and to our toes. And if you need to, just gently move it around and relax both our feet. Okay. Yeah, so that's a gently body scanning. So we scan the whole body and just learn to relax and make peace with our whole body. Once our whole body is relaxed, loose, calm, and peaceful, then it's easier to allow it to slowly fade away with peace and kindness. And now we gently bring our awareness all the way back to our breath. And just notice our breathing in and out. So mindfulness of the breath is now quite important. We allow our breath to calm and relax this whole body. And also, when we are aware of our breathing in and out, gently and calmly, we use our breath to tranquil and calm our mind. Just calmly noticing our breathing in and breathing out, calmly and peacefully. Sometimes I like to remind myself, breathing calm and breathe out peacefully. Or breathing peace, or breathe out relax. Peace, and relax. Our breathing is just a way to tranquil the mind and to relax the body. Be mindful of our breathing to calm the mind and to make peace with the moment. As you become more relaxed, you may notice any tension or stiffness arise in the body. It's okay. Just stay with the breath and just relax. Relax any part of your body. They're still a bit stiff, tight, or sometimes anxious. And when you're anxious, our body becomes a bit stiff. But it's okay. We use our breath just to make peace with this moment and gently relax our body. As we become more relaxed, we gently go back to our breath and calmly breathe in and breathe out. Calmly, calming the breath, calming the body, and especially calming the mind. If your mind is still wandering, it's okay. We tend to wander time to time, but we stay with the body and relax this body. And we stay with our breathing. Our breathing will slowly calm our mind and calm our thoughts. As we become more peaceful, then our mind will stop, will wander less. As the mind stops wandering, then we stay with our breath more easily because we delight in silence and peace. As you become more relaxed and quiet, you find it's easier to stay with this body. And also to stay with the breath. When there's peace, calm, and happiness from a mind that is quiet and free, and silent. And the breath becomes beautiful and enjoyable. Delight in our breathing. As you become more peaceful and silent, you notice breathing is easier. To be mindful of our breathing. We delight in the beautiful breath of peace and freedom. So please enjoy the next 5 minutes of peace, calm, and happiness. So we'll be finishing soon. So it's always good just to be aware how calm and more peaceful you are now. How was it before the meditation and during the meditation? How more calm and more relaxed you are. So I'll ring the gong 3 times, then you can gently come out of meditation. Okay, so just slowly come out of meditation. There was a piece of the Metta Sutta chanting was on the bell, so it didn't sound that clear, I noticed. Yeah, so meditation is...
Meditation, Bhante. Thank you very much.
Yes, so meditation is the foundation. So when we sit quietly, we are actually practicing the four foundation of meditation. So basically, or four foundation of mindfulness. So we are mindful of our body, see what's happening. We are mindful of our thoughts. We are mindful of our feelings. And we are mindful of our mind objects through the 5 senses, or mindful of Dhamma. So what is causing us suffering, and what is taking us out of suffering, peace and freedom. So these 4 foundations of mindfulness, the body, the mind, the feeling, or the mind object, or the Dhamma. If we practice this 7 years, or 4 or 7 months, even 7 weeks or 7 days, the Buddha say the result is you might become fully enlightened. Or not fully enlightened, you might break through and reach the first stage. So so if you can practice this 4 foundation of mindfulness, then you might break through. But it's easier to become a monastic and practice this 4 foundation of mindfulness. But as for lay people, if you practice well, and you can purify your mind and clear all the defilements, then wisdom will arise naturally. So when the wisdom arises naturally, then you find that the happiness of the mind is more precious. So the whole world will be, what's the word? Blown around by the defilements, greed, hatred, delusion, or wanting, not wanting, being important, not being important, fame, be nothing, or praise and blame. So the world is funny these days. I guess as more and more people go after the desires, it's going to get more intense. So spiritual practice is very important. So when we develop spiritual practice in our heart, this 4 foundation of mindfulness, then we develop happiness within the body, our mind, our feeling, and our thoughts, and our wisdom. Because wisdom will set us free. Defilements will make us confused, worry, angry, sad, and also anxious. Someone that have strong defilements in the mind, when you meet them, it's like they completely crazy. Yeah, so that's one thing I notice when I go traveling and I meet new people. Wow, you can see their mind has so much suffering. Yeah, always busy, always doing something, always scheming, always manipulating. Wow, jeez, what a way to live. Well, anyway, yes. So I welcome anyone. Any questions they want to ask?
Yes, please feel free to raise your virtual hand or put a question in the chat. You can do that either to everyone or directly to me, and I'll read it out for you. So, yes, please bring your questions. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Martha. Would you like to go ahead?
Yes, thank you so much. I'm wondering, Venerable Kunda, did you say that it's easier for a monastic than a layperson in these days? I'm only asked that because I find that I do struggle with relaxing the body.
Yes.
Which is why I do a lot of yoga and qigong.
Oh, okay.
And other sorts of exercises so I can relax my body. But during this meditation, I was able to relax the body, and I tried to convince myself that the mind was relaxed, but it wasn't. But what happened was, for me, the body, I was aware, very good scan for me. I was able to go to each part of the body, but after the body calmed down, the mind was not calm. I was just more aware of the two separate, sort of like absolute and relative reality. There was the absolute reality, which is inside and deep and still and totally black and calm and peaceful for me. But I also was more aware of my thoughts of my day to day. For example, I don't have those necessities of life that the Buddha.
Yes.
Shelter, clothing, food, people.
Yes.
I don't know if you can speak to that.
Yes. So it is easier to practice as a monastic compared to as a layperson, but it is not impossible to practice as a layperson too. Because I've met some lay people that have practicing meditation and Dhamma practice for many years, and some of them have really good meditation because they have structured their environment at home, at the workplace to be quite simple, and some of them keep the 8 precepts quite well, so they don't eat in the evening, and they don't distract their mind with too much entertainment. So they live a very simple, mindful life. Just go into work, come back into the chores, and not basically bombard the mind with too many things on the internet. Then the mind becomes more peaceful. So if you do ground your awareness, like especially when you're doing yoga, you're not thinking so much. You're basically aware of all your movement. And when you do qigong, you're aware of your breathing in and breathing out. Yep. So that's why when everything is calm, the mind will always look for distraction to hold on to. That's how the mind works. So sometimes it's good to maybe try doing walking meditation. Because you find that you do walking meditation, walking back and forward, there's no seeing your movement of the leg. So you can find a lot of instruction on meditation, walking meditation online, done by Theravada monks. Because one of my friends a few days ago asked me, how do you do walking meditation? So I quickly looked online and found some really good one, and I forwarded to him. And he said it was quite useful. Because my friend, he runs 3 restaurants and is very busy all the time. So he works very hard. So when he come back home to sit and do meditation, his mind is still very busy. So I recommended walking meditation for him. Because sometimes when you do walking meditation, back and forward, you're basically aware of your movement of your whole body, yeah? And your feet moving forward, and touching down, left and right leg. So the whole touching and the whole movement of your leg. And when you're mindful of the whole movement of your leg, then after a while you find that you become like in the zone where you're just aware of everything moving, yeah? And your mind becomes silent. So how I can describe that is like if you go rock climbing, like you basically fully aware of your arms and leg when you're moving, climbing a rock. Your mind is not thinking about food, family problems, or what to do the next day. You're just fully aware of climbing. Yeah? Because sometimes I saw this documentary on people that do freestyle climbing up very high rocks, extremely dangerous. Wow. And they say when they're doing that, they feel alive and completely free. Yep. So it's like you get this natural high. Yeah, it's quite interesting. But I remember when I used to do some caving, and I go into like very deep caves where you have to dive underwater and stuff. And when I came out from caving, diving underwater and stuff, it's quite dangerous too. But when it came out, you just feel alive. Wow, like really mindful. It's like you can't think. It's just the mindfulness is so strong. Yeah. So it's just the power of the mindfulness. Yeah, but that's basically extreme sport. Yeah. So yeah, try walking meditation, and see if your mind becomes calm and peaceful. When your mind becomes calm and peaceful, then just sit and go with the breath, and let it go even deeper. So that's one thing I find with having a mind that can be quite active. It's good to train the mind to be silent and fully aware through walking meditation. When you get good at walking meditation, you're fully aware, and after a while you feel like you're just floating, and your body is just walking back and forth automatically. It's just become automatic, but your body become very light, and you're just floating. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. Yes.
Very helpful. Yes, very helpful. Specific structure of the environment. Keep the 8 precepts. Not too much entertainment. Don't bombard yourself with electronics. Keep the work simple, and do walking meditation because it requires. It's significant. Thank you. Very helpful. Appreciate that very much.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Martha. Sandra, would you like to unmute yourself and ask a question? Thank you.
First of all, thank you for your Dhamma talk. And my question is about the gradual training and precepts.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start with the full training,
yes,
and you first of all have a sense of like accomplishment, like you are free from some desires, like those worldly, maybe checking the Instagram too much, or maybe talking too much, or maybe entertaining yourself too much, or maybe climbing rocks too much, and assess accomplishment is there that you understand that those things are actually only bothering you, and maybe that could be some like evidence that you're on the correct path. But I found that sense of accomplishment and the joyful feeling that you get from that is kind of intoxicating, because after a while there is no more joy, because you like are used to not doing that anymore, and you feel the benefits of that, but you're not joyful to that extent. And my question is, do you have any advice that is like that shows a practitioner how to understand if he is doing something correctly and which is not based on the joyful feeling? Because I feel like if someday I'm not joyful, maybe I'm on the correct direction, but I know that I'm doing according to precepts, the pressure training, the sense restriction, as much as I can in a lay life. And do you have any other advice to so to understand if someone is doing a good job, or I don't know how to say it, apart from feeling great about it and something like that, yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, so I do remember when I was a layperson, I used to do a lot of things, like go boogie boarding with my friends, go to the racetrack with my brothers and my friends, because I used to do a bit of racing. That was fun, because I'm a mechanic, and also I used to modify cars, and I used to love driving cars faster, and always recommend people to take the cars to the racetrack, because that way it's safer, not going to hurt anyone on the road. Yep. So I always encourage that. Yeah, and also love going on holidays, going to the movies and all this stuff. I mean, you have a sense of a lot of happiness and joyful and excitement. But sometimes I find that if I'm go back in my room or by myself, I find something is missing. And what was missing was that happiness and peace in one's heart and mind. Because the happiness of the world is you have to do things, work hard, do things, and always look for that to stimulate the five senses, just to feel alive. Yep. But with meditation it's different. You go inwards and you allow your mind to be calm and peaceful. When the mind is calm and peaceful, and when there's a lot of peace and happiness and freedom, then you find that peacefulness of the mind and the happiness of a still mind, then you find that there's a lot of happiness in that. It's like you feel more relaxed, you feel more free, you don't have a lot of, wandering mind, and things that happen in the past and the future, you see that it's something that's not worth holding on to. Yep. Yeah, so that peace and freedom of not getting too caught up with the world is something different, because that's we say spiritual happiness is inside our heart. So when you're happy inside, then you find that you're happy in that moment. So it's like a natural high for a practitioner. So when someone finds a lot of peace and happiness with silence, then they find that the mind becomes really free and joyful. Yep. So it's a bit hard to describe. I spoke to some practitioners, and they say when they are really happy and free, they find that there's not a lot of thoughts. They don't think so much. And it's like the mind is naturally light and radiant. So the mind is almost like light and radiant. Yep. And when that happens, things that happen in the world does not affect him so much. Yep. But what they describe to me is things like anxiety and worry. It's not that strong, because we are so caught up with worldly things that happen in the world and feeding our five senses. We becomes what's the word? It's a constant seek for that itch to scratch it just to feel good. Yeah. But if we can sit quietly and just enjoy the moment and be by ourselves, then you find that it becomes more peaceful and more happier and more free. When you become more happy and more free, then the mind becomes very pure. So when the mind is very pure, then it becomes very delightful, very happy, and very free. So what the practitioner had described to me is like when they sleep at night, instead of having a mind that's darker and scarier, it's like the mind is radiant and brighter. Yep. So then I asked them, how bright is it? And they say it's like looking into a white cloud. So when the mind is free, the mind is naturally radiant and bright. Because if your mind is still worried and scared, then the mind is dark. Yep. So yeah. So how to describe that? So when you let go of the body and you still the mind becomes pure and radiant. Yep. It's like it came out from a dark. It's like the full moon arising from the cloud at night. Yep. So the darkness is the mind that's caught with defilements and caught with the dread, holding on to the self and holding on to the body and our thoughts. We delight in that. But the mind that's pure, bright and clear and radiant is a mind that's completely free. Yep. So yeah, so they say this happiness from a pure mind. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite interesting. I mean, if you look at people that have near-death experience, they say the same thing too. When they die, they go into a dark tunnel, then they see this radiant, bright mind. Yep. But they don't know they're watching the mind that's free from the body and free from the thoughts. And that's what you have is a pure mind. Yep. So that's the closest I can think to what other people experience with near-death experience. Yep. Yep. But for some practitioner, if they can let go of the body and still the mind, then the mind becomes free. So when the mind is free, it's bright and radiant. Mm. Yeah. Anyway, if you read the suttas, it's all in that. Yep. There's a lot of information on the deep meditation with the suttas. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's about intoxicating feelings, not intoxicating feelings, and you're describing the non-intoxicating feeling that arise from deep meditations. And
yes.
Yeah, I believe. Yep. Thank you.
It's something that all practitioners have to experience. They find that if they let go of the world, let go of the five senses attached to the world, because we are always looking for external happiness. But if we look inside, then we find internal happiness, a mind that's pure and also free. Not always looking for things to do, looking for people to talk to. Just being calmly mindfulness. Just if you need to work, if you need to eat, if you need to smile, and not getting caught with other people's antique and problem, then you can learn to live very happily and peacefully. Yep. Yeah. So letting go of the self is very hard, because when there's a self, there's always a lot of talking, and there's always a lot of doing. The more we do, the more we talk, the more we think, then the bigger the ego is. But if we can learn to be silent, calm and peaceful, then you find that we are driving the madness in our head. Yep. But if we learn to let things go and just live happily and peacefully, then you can become free and happy. Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people ordain as monastic. But if people don't ordain as monastic, they come and practice in a monastery for 2 weeks or 3 months. And I notice people have good meditation. And I notice people that are happy, peaceful and calm and kind. Wow. When I talk to them or listen to them ask the senior monks questions, then I realize, wow, they have good meditation because they have a pure heart and pure mind. Yep. Myself, I've been teaching meditation overseas and around the place, and I notice the same thing too. People that have pure heart and pure mind, you say they have good meditation because they're so pure. and they're so kind. And no wonder when they pass away, they have a good rebirth, and they might get born in good destination, because they're really good pure-hearted people. Anyway, that's what I noticed as a monastic.
Thank you very much, Bhante. Christine, would you like to go ahead and ask your question, please?
Thank you. So, Bhante, at the beginning you mentioned about feeding against observing thoughts. And that rang a bell with me, literally, because I have difficulty with that. Some days I can see thoughts observing and going away. However, on other days, it's interesting because while I'm observing thoughts, I feel that I'm feeding them. And it's uncontrollable.
Yes.
And it's interesting because I even started note-taking to try and figure out what's happening here. And it's interesting that on some days, observing thoughts and feelings coming and going is as easy as a breeze. But then on other days, when I'm observing them, I'm feeding them. And then it starts trickling and accumulating. So, in fact, talking about monastic, I realized sometimes it happened, and retrospectively, I think it was because I was pushing thoughts away from the fear, or repressing rather, from the fear of feeding them while observing.
Yes.
So when I used to stay at monasteries, for instance, or in retreats, oftentimes I found that when I come out of the retreat, I start indulging in food more, and I have more social anxiety, and I can't stand being with people. And so then I thought that maybe during that period I was more repressing thoughts and feelings. So I wonder whether you have some advice on that, on how I can manage observing thoughts without feeding them.
So mindfulness of feeling is quite important. So some of people that stay in the monastery, some of them have really good meditation, and they come up to me and say, they're getting restless, the meditation is going downhill. They used to practice really well, and it's just like not working. And I say, well, maybe you have to have more loving kindness to oneself. And so he went and practiced loving kindness to oneself. And he found that, wow, the meditation was good. Because sometimes when we have too much expectation and we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, we want the result. So one thing is very subtle. But if we learn to be happy and peaceful, like kindness of oneself, so when the mind is kind, when we're kind and peaceful, loving kindness, then you find that it becomes natural. Because the Buddhists say there's many benefits of practicing loving kindness. So when we're kind to ourselves and kind to other people, then we find that we become more relaxed. We can sleep easily. And our face becomes more serene. Because when you practice loving kindness, you're developing calm, peace, happiness, and joy. So those conditions to lead for the mind to become more happier and more peaceful. But if we put too much effort in, it's like doing one thing and doing. I mean, myself, I do make the same mistake when I was a lay person. I really wanted the result so badly that my meditation fell apart. But when I start having more loving kindness towards myself, then I found meditation was easier. So practice more loving kindness to oneself. Because when you have piti and sukha, those are the jhana factors. The deep meditation factors. So piti and sukha are the factors of deep meditation. When you have piti and sukha, happiness and calm, then the mind becomes calm and peaceful more naturally. Yeah, so yeah, try that and see if you can be more mindful. Because when we think too much, I find that it's a lot of work. But if we are happy in the moment, then we can stay in the moment, and we don't think so much. We can just watch our thoughts and our emotion comes and go. I find that when I try and work things out, I'm just doing things again. But if I enjoy the moment, then I become more relaxed and more peaceful. So yeah, it's just become like happily watching our thoughts and emotion comes and go. Yeah, because when we have too much worry and anxiety, then it tends to taint the mind. Yeah. So yeah, loving kindness does work for a lot of people that I notice that are struggling in their practice. So when we're kind to ourselves, then we become free. Hope that makes sense.
I think it makes admirable sense, Bhante. Thank you. And thank you, Christine. Thank you so much. Yes, I often hear in Laos, that when I visit Laos, people comment that Western people simply think too much. And thinking too much drives you crazy.
No, thinking is okay, but it's when we overthink that it becomes a problem. Yep.
It's the overthinking. Yes, exactly, Bhante. Well, Bhante, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, as always, to have you here. Would you like to offer us a blessing or some thoughts or a prayer?
Okay.
Would you like to?
Let me see. So when the monks receive the alms round or the meal for the day, the monks will recite a blessing for the lay people. Basically, is to rejoice in their goodness. So when they do something good, a kind act in sharing a meal or whatever they do during the day, we always rejoice in the kindness of the good act that we do in daily life or in this moment. Even practicing meditation and making the mind peaceful is also very wholesome. So when that happens, then we can think of our loved ones that's around or even departed. Then we share in that joy, that happiness and joy of goodness and share with them, no matter where they are. So I'll give a quick blessing when we receive the alms round during our only lunch or meal of the day. Yattariyaha prayanti sangaram evan denan penan man upakapiti etitam tulasa sattati sapa juentu sankapa jantu yata manju yata sapidio viajantu sabaruku vinasatu Mate Bhawan Dwan Dayayu Sukhiti Kayugo Bhawan Abhiwadana Sili Chani Chan Buddha Tajaino Tatano Dhamma Wajanti Aryutukan Balang. Okay, so that's a quick sharing like blessing. So that's normally when the monks receive the alms, they do a quick blessing or sharing of merits. Yeah, so that's something different. So if anyone have come to the monastery and offer alms round to a meal to the monks, this is a normal standard blessing that we give to the lay people. It's basically just to remind ourselves all the goodness that we have done in this life and this moment, and the act of giving and sharing, then we will enjoy that in our heart. Then we will think of any of our relative that's around or departed, especially our parents. Then we share in that blessing and merit and joy with them, no matter where they are. Okay. Thank you.